For the Chicago Bears, this team really hasn't had expectations since like the Dick Butkus days. Now, I'm not here disrespecting the lineage or the history of the Chicago Bears. I know about some of the Chicago Bear greats like a Jay Cutler, like a Brandon Marshall, Matt Forte. I'm not here disrespecting the Chicago Bears, but what I am saying is it's very rare that you go into a season, at least recently, it's very rare that we go into a season talking about the Chicago Bears in a way of excitement, in a way of hope, in a way of this could be one of the most fun teams in football. That is, I can't tell you the last time that has happened. Now, yes, I know that they went to a Super Bowl and everything, but again, I think that was 2005? We're about to be in 2025. But that is the realm that we find ourselves in looking at this Chicago Bears team. It's a new day. And with every season comes new teammates, new teams, new opportunities. And as we know, it's almost like a carousel year after year when we talk about the relationship between teams and quarterbacks. I think Adam Schefter might have said it. On average, there's about 7 or 8 teams that get a new coach or a new quarterback every season, or the start of a season, at the end of a season. So, and the Chicago Bears are a team that is usually on that list. Whether we talk about how many coaches they've had, whether we talk about how many quarterbacks they've had, it's been a tough road for the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Bears fans for a while. But it's interesting watching the Chicago Bears now. Now, I'm not saying watching them as a team because obviously we haven't seen this iteration of the team yet. But what I'm saying is this is the first time I think in Chicago Bears history they have a player at the quarterback position that a lot of people consider once in a generation, or in other terms, a generational talent. Caleb Williams has all the makeup, has all the attributes to put him in that class, to put him in that greatness class. He has the intangibles, he has the arm strength, he has the talent. And this with all that expectation, with all that talent, or let me say this, with all that talent, with all that moxie comes expectations. And that's something that I think that's a new realm. That's a new world for the recent Chicago Bears. The reason why I said that this episode is going to venture a lot into new possibilities is because when you look at this NFC North team or North Division, almost every team is in a new space. Almost every team is viewed differently than they've been viewed for years. A lot of teams for decades. But let's stick with this Chicago Bears team. What I think is interesting is this is probably one of the first times in a while that a newly constructed team with a lot of youth is expected to do a lot. That shows you how good a lot of people think Caleb Williams is. And I'm not going to lie to you, when we talk about talent, this is something I thought I would never say in my lifetime. Or I'll say that this is something that I probably haven't been able to say in the 30 years I've been alive. Maybe 1 or 2 years, but not regularly. This Chicago Bears team is one of the best constructed teams in football. Who would have thought? When we talk about almost every position is stacked. You have DJ Moore at the wide receiver. The wide receiver core, Rome Odunze, who's the rookie, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Carter. It's like at the running back position, DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert. On defense, I also forgot. You also have Cole Kmet at the tight end, Gerald Everett at the tight end, Mercedes Lewis. Man. Defense, Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Kevin Bird, Byard, I think. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. What I'm saying is, I don't expect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give grace. I'm going to give grace. I am leaving room for positive surprises when I talk about this Bears team. Because it's very rare that you get a rookie to come in and they just set ablaze to the NFL, or they're just amongst the league leaders in everything in the NFL. People forget Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a minute. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for a minute. Tom Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe. So when we talk about greatness, it's very rare that you just come in and you're just that guy. Not saying that it hasn't happened, but it's rare. So I think it wouldn't be fair to this Bears team, to Caleb Williams, to come in and put all the expectations that a lot of people are put. There's people that have the Bears winning this division. There's people that have the Bears at least making it to the second round of the playoffs. And while they have the roster to do that, in my opinion, I think that this is one of the best rosters in football. Which is crazy to say about the Chicago Bears. But this is one of the best rosters in all of football. But it's still being led by a quarterback that is indeed a rookie. Yes, albeit the number 1 overall pick. People say once in a generational talent. Has all the makeups of one of them. Rightfully so. But I'm going to hold off expectations because he's still a rookie. And there's a difference between looking incredible, in college, looking incredible in the preseason, compared to doing that against full NFL rosters. I think that, and I think and I hope that Caleb Williams has a long, successful career. But I don't want to put the unheralded expectations. I think that the expectations that I'm putting on the Chicago Bears team is they're going to be better than last year. And they have one of the most talented rosters, and I think that which is a blessing. And that's something let's stay on that for a second. I do think it's interesting when you look at how Caleb Williams' regime or Caleb Williams' tenured is starting with the Chicago Bears compared to the Justin Fields tenured, or the Justin Fields start to the Chicago Bears team. I think that, and I'm not the only one that said this. People have said this in the NFL. The most important years of a NFL player's career, especially a quarterback, is the first 3 to 4 years. I think that a quarterback needs to be able to know their footing in the league in the first 2 to 3 years. And I think with the right help, you're supposed to know how good they can be. The reason why this Justin Fields situation with Pittsburgh is so frustrating to a lot of people is because we're still at that we don't know phase with Justin Fields, even though he's been in the league for what, 4 or 5 years now? Not saying that he can't blossom to be something incredible, but usually you know what you're getting from a player 3 years in. But I also understand that a lot of that is the environment needs to be right around him. And it most certainly was not the case in Chicago. Whether we talk about, not surrounding Justin Fields with the right pieces. Well, if you look, it's unfortunate that Justin Fields seemingly had to be the mistake. And I'm not calling him a mistake, but what I'm saying is the organization made a lot of mistakes with Jordan or Justin Fields. It looks like they're doing their due diligence and they're learning from their mistakes with Justin Fields pertaining to this Caleb Williams thing. Because one of the biggest critiques and loudest critiques that we heard during the Justin Fields Chicago Bears era is they do not surround him with enough pieces. If you look at this team, there is pieces galore. They have a really good offensive line. Looks like they have great skill positions. Like it is talent galore on this team. I don't know if the Chicago Bears are going to be good. Looking at that roster, they should be good. Let's say that. But it's very hard, even with all the talent that he has, it's very hard banking your hopes on somebody or something or somebody, let's just say, that hasn't gone through what they're about to go through. Because, again, there's a difference between college and professionals. And while I don't know how good they're going to be, I'm not going to put an expectation. What I will say is, good, bad, or indifferent, they're going to be one of the most fun and interesting teams this year by far. And I mean that in all the positive ways, which is new for the Chicago Bears, because usually when we talk about interest, outside of a few years, it's never really a positive thing. We either talk about the relationship between Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler, or, front office movements that are less than favorable for their players. This is a new day for the Chicago Bears. And I think Caleb Williams has all the attributes to be an all-time player. I think the Chicago Bears know that. But I think with the Jordan Fields experiment or experience, I think that they know that that can't be enough. They need to surround him with the pieces. And they have done that. I think it's very hard to see this team be last in the division. Especially when you see, and we'll talk about it a little bit in a few, but to see a lot of the movement, a lot of the injuries, a lot of stuff that's happened with this division. But I'm not going to go as far as to say that they're not going to be first, I don't think. I will talk about later who I think first in the division will be, but I think that they'll be interesting, and they have a shot. I'm not going to compare them to the rest of the league, but they have a shot to be at least second, in my opinion, in this division. If everything clicks how it's supposed to click, I'll say that. And this is where I'll end with the Chicago Bears. If everything clicks the way that it's supposed to click, if everything goes as planned, not planned, if everyone reaches the potential that they should, and I'm looking pretty much at Caleb Williams, this team is good enough to win the division. That's how good this roster is. And I think that I don't think they will win the division. But I think that this team is going to be extremely good. Not just because of Caleb Williams, but because this is one of the most stacked rosters in football. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.